David Kolb, the theorist. David Kolb was born in the United States in 1939, and he is still alive. He originally received his Bachelor of the Arts from Knox College in 1961, his MA from Harvard in 1964, and his PhD from Harvard in 1967. In 2008, David A. Kolb received the Educational Pioneers of the Year Award with Alice Kolb from the National Society of Experiential Education. Currently, he is a professor of organizational development at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. There, he teaches and researches in the fields of learning and development, adult development, experiential learning, learning style, and notably, learning-focused institutional development in higher education. Now, how did Kolb influence his times and surroundings? Well, he stated, learning is a process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. He aims to understand the manners in which experiences, whether first or secondhand, motivate learners and promote their learning. Therefore, learning is about meaningful experiences in everyday life that lead to a change in an individual's knowledge as well as behaviors. Kolb has influenced the times with his theory because he has provided a new outlook on effective learning. Through this, he has guided learning to occur with the production of meaningful experiences that occur within everyday life. Through this, learning is promoted and learners are motivated. This leads to a change in both a learner's knowledge as well as behaviors. The experiential learning theory. This is David Kolb's theory. It was published in 1984 in his book Experiential Learning: Experience as the Source of Learning and Development. He has key stages within this theory. Kolb laid out 4 learning styles that are based on his 4-stage learning cycle. It is believed that a learner within the 4-stage learning cycle touches all of the bases. In fact, effective learning occurs when a learner progresses through the 4 cycles, Kolb believes. So the first in this is the concrete experience. This represents a new experience of a situation or even a reinterpretation of an already existing experience. Next in line is the reflective observation. This is when observations or reviewing the experience that had occurred. Next is abstract conceptualization, when the experience is learned from and a new idea is produced because of it, or there is a change made to an existing abstract concept. Now, last within this cycle is active experimentation, when the learner applies their concept to the world around them to try and get results. Kolb views each of these steps to be mutually supportive of one another, as he believes that effective learning only occurs when each of these stages are implemented and reached. Furthermore, there are 4 distinct learning styles, which change based upon the person and their environment, their education, and the individual themselves. These styles are placed on a continuum. The 4 styles are placed along the east-west axes, representing how a learner approaches a situation. The diagram will be shown later in this presentation. So each style also incorporates 2 aspects of the learning cycle because it shows the learning style that best fits with the learning preference. So these are the 4 learning styles. First is diverging. This goes with the concrete experience and reflective observation. It refers to the emotions of feeling and watching. These people are able to look at things from different perspectives. They're sensitive. They prefer to watch rather than to do, tending to gather information and use imagination to solve problems. They are best at viewing concrete situations and several different viewpoints. Kolb called this style diverging because these people perform better in situations that require ideas, generation, for example, brainstorming. People with a diverging learning style have broad cultural interests and like to gather information. They are interested in people, tend to be imaginative and emotional, and tend to be strong in the arts. People with the diverging style prefer to work in groups, to listen with an open mind, and to receive personal feedback. Next is assimilating. This refers to the abstract conceptualization and reflective observation. It refers to watching and thinking. The assimilating learning preference is for a concise, logical approach. Ideas and concepts are more important than people. These people require good, clear explanations rather than practical opportunities. They excel at understanding wide-range information and organizing it in a clear, logical format. People with this style are more attracted to logically sound theories than approaches based on practical value. These learning styles, it's important for effectiveness in information and science careers. In formal learning situations, people with this style prefer readings, lectures, exploring analytical models, and having time to think things through. Next in line is converging. This refers to the abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. It refers to the doing and thinking emotions. People with a converging learning style can solve problems and will use their learning to find solutions to practical issues. They prefer technical tasks and are less concerned with people and interpersonal aspects. People with a converging learning style are best at finding practical uses for ideas and theories. They can solve problems and make decisions by finding solutions to questions and problems. People with a converging learning style are more attracted to technical tasks and problems than social or interpersonal issues. A converging learning style enables specialists in technology abilities. People with a converging style like to experiment with new ideas, to simulate, and to work with practical applications. Now, the last within this learning style is that of accommodating. This goes with the concrete experience and active experimentation style. It refers to doing and feeling. So the accommodating learning style is hands-on and relies on intuition rather than logic. These people use other people's analysis and prefer to take a practical, experiential approach. They are attracted to new challenges and experiences and to carrying out plans. They commonly act on gut instinct rather than logical analysis. People with an accommodating learning style will tend to rely on others for information, then carry out their own analysis. This learning style is prevalent and useful in roles requiring action and initiative. People with an accommodating learning style prefer to work in teams to complete tasks. They set targets and actively work in the field, trying to show different ways to achieve a new objective. So, conversely, along with the north-south axis, it is the emotional response, showing how we feel when we approach a task, which corresponds to these styles and emotions. You can see that these are thinking, feeling, doing, and watching. So, a description of the experiential theory. Through the two levels of both the four-stage cycle of learning and the four different learning styles, Kolb's theory of experiential learning is able to be fully carried out. Kolb believes and still continues to work on the theory that students are able to effectively learn when they follow through the four stages in the cycle of learning. This also supports his thought that students learn through experiences, and it is through these that new concepts can be developed. The four styles of learning are provided, but a learner typically only uses one. Through this, they're able to transform their experience into something that is both meaningful and usable within everyday life. This theory allows for more than just one dimension of intelligence to occur. Simply psychology stated, Kolb states that learning involves the acquisition of abstract concepts that can be applied flexibly in a range of situations. In Kolb's theory, the impetus for development of new concepts is provided by new experiences. Influences for and of Kolb's theory. An individual that influenced this theory and idea of Kolb's was Carl Jung, and his claim that learning styles result from people's preferred way of adapting within the world. Kolb stated that his theory grew from this idea of Jung's. Jung can be seen on your right-hand side of the slide. Theorists Peter Honey and Alan Mumford are also closely linked with Kolb and his theory of experiential learning. Both actually created a variation of Kolb's theory after it was produced, so theirs originated from Kolb's. Their cycle of learning, however, included having an experience, to reviewing the experience, to concluding from the experience, and planning the next steps. Their theory differed, though, when they referred to the learning styles as being an activist, reflector, theorist, and pragmatist. Learning under this theory. Children are able to learn under this theory through the teacher drawing on their past experiences. Through this, the teacher can have them reflect on that experience, drawing conclusions about its effects or occurrences. Through this, new ideas or approaches are able to be introduced in a way that is understandable to the child. Influencing classroom teachers. If a teacher were to plan instruction in line with Kolb's theory, they would need to ensure that all the students have had that experience within their life. Through relating a classroom activity to an experience, it would also have to be dependent on the socioeconomic status of the students. For example, if the students were from a poorer district, they may have a very different view of a spring vacation than students from a more suburban district have that relate it to the vacations that they take. The cultural experiences and conditions need to be taken into consideration when bringing this into a classroom. Another critical component of utilizing this theory would be to allow for experiences to foster within a classroom itself or through field trips the class would be able to take. Furthermore, through implementing a lesson in which learners would be able to apply past experiences, teachers would be able to implement further understanding and delve deeper into the thought process, allowing students to have a greater response to the lesson. 2 takeaways from Kolb. Kolb introduced a new approach to learning within the classroom and even throughout different professional fields. This, through showing that learners can create more knowledge through experience, he was able to find a way for greater success throughout the classroom. Kolb also allows this theory to cater to different style learners, so any type of learner is able to learn from their past experiences and apply it to their learning. This is what I like about Kolb's theory. It seems universal in this sense.